Hi, everyone. Hey,
Hello,
you.
hi.
Great to have Laura Jackson in the house today here at canfitpro. And here we are once again, Tuesday, live with Mo at canfitpro. I hope that you're joining us and you grab some lunch, or this perhaps is leading into your lunch break. So each Tuesday, it's just my honor to be able to be here and to talk to you about things that are relevant to canfitpro as a member, as a fan, as a fitness industry professional. So it's only perfect that soon after the conference, we bring in one of our incredible award recipients. So I'm so honored to introduce Laura Jackson, Fitness Professional of the Year for 2019.
Thank you,
Yay.
thank you.
It was such an honor to present you with the award on stage this year.
I'm still a little bit in shock about it.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome. It was so awesome.
Yeah, well, it was so well deserved.
Oh, thank you.
And you know what I love best? I'm going to kick this off fast because I know you want to learn nuggets of knowledge, but I have some questions for you today. But first of all, I just want to tell everyone to learn about Laura Jackson, who is the Fitness Professional of the Year personal training specialist, along with her colleague, a great friend of mine, Lisa Mastracchio. Cover story, cover girl. I want your autograph after. But I want to dive right in and ask you a very bold question. Why did you choose to step up and nominate yourself for this award?
Well, to be honest, I've nominated myself a couple of years in a row.
Yeah.
But I know as women it's hard to, celebrate your own accomplishments and to even think, I could win this award or what I'm doing could really be recognized. And I don't know, it was my own kind of not knowing what I was doing really mattered, but also the people around me. I surround myself with really great people and they're like, Laura, you have to nominate yourself. Like, you deserve this award. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for it.
Well, a couple great points. First of all, it is very true that less than half of women will step into a job opportunity, an opportunity for recognition. Less than half of women, because they feel like they're not qualified enough, they don't have what it takes, and they aren't deserving of the recognition. So good on you for understanding your worth and for understanding that what you do matters, and that by putting yourself forward, it's not so much to feed your ego, it's to actually let people know why you are here, what you're doing, and how are you moving the fitness industry forward.
Well, and that's just it, when you get over the ego part, when you understand it's not about ego, then you start to realize, okay, like the mission I have is bigger than me, and what I want to share is bigger than me. So if I don't take this chance to put it forward, then not only am I doing myself a disservice, but there are people out there who need my help.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women out there, and through being in this industry for 11 years, I can honestly say that. I've worked with thousands of women, and I truly, truly believe, as I said in my speech, like fitness and nutrition are the two things that can literally change the path of your entire life, not just your health, but your mindset, everything. So if you can inspire people to move and to take care of their bodies in a natural way, you can not only change their life, you can save their life. So I just think if you don't step forward and you don't step up, you're doing a disservice to
Absolutely. And that was the second point, is that it is beyond, it's not the ego. It's in fact, it's a responsibility. Yeah. And in that word responsibility is response and ability to do so. And it's powerful. So you took full advantage of knowing you have this role.
Yeah.
And good for you. And I encourage all of you that are listening to this or going to be reading this feature article and wishing, dreaming, and of course, wishes and dreams are exactly that unless you put them into action.
That's just it. I'm like, do it. Just apply.
Yeah, just apply.
Honestly.
And be aware of the application process.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you haven't gotten to that point where you're ready to step in, then give the application to someone else and say, this is what I desire to aim for. Will you help me?
Yeah.
And that's the other point you mentioned, is surround yourself with mentors and coaches that are going to be honest. So before we came live, we had a great conversation together.
Yes.
And you mentioned some really great things. You mentioned that it's important to surround yourself with powerful women who support your cause, but also powerful men. And you said that you had this guy in your business that gives you, and you made a comment, you called it something, not gold nuggets, but he gave
me a thought bomb.
A thought bomb. And
I was like,
what was that thought bomb?
Well, that was when we were talking about the whole idea of when I named my business.
Uh-huh.
And, a lot of times when you're in something, you're so close to it, you can't see outside of it. And that's why even this conversation before even starting this, I've so appreciated, because just even talking to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to leave. Like, my wheels are already turning leaving here. I'm like, can't wait to put all this stuff into practice. But when you're so close to it, you can't see. So when I was naming Fit Chicks, originally I wanted to call it Two Fit Chicks. Mm-hmm. And I was so involved in it that I couldn't see that was really limiting the amount of people that I could not necessarily help, but as a brand where I wanted to take it to. Mm-hmm. So we dropped the two, it became Fit Chicks. And then that was all because of a guy that I know who I always say he's an interesting character, but he comes out with these thought bombs every once in a while that kind of like, oh, actually, you really make a lot of sense.
And you need those people in your life.
Completely.
And also keep in mind that as you aim to achieve or aim high to accomplish what your purpose is, you've got to surround yourself with people who are going to support you, because they say you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. And I'm such a huge believer in that community is everything. I think education and community are the 2 things that can totally change your career and change the course of what you're doing. So, for me, I'm very, very, very careful about who I surround myself with and who I ask for feedback from. Mm. Because, there's so many different ideas that come at you, especially now with like the digital age, right? Like every time you go online, it's somebody telling you do it this way, and then someone's telling you do it this way, or focus on your clients, or focus on your marketing, or whatever it is. And you just start to feel overwhelmed, and it's really draining. So I just think for anyone out there who is just starting or trying to grow your business, I think it's so important to surround yourself with people who, number 1, are going to keep you straight, like give it to you straight. And number 2, can be that sounding board. But don't surround yourself with like 100 people, just like 5 people or 3 people who you trust, and follow those people. And, like what you do here, this is so about getting the mindset clear and getting you focused on your why, which is so important to the game. So,
very important. Well, let's step back, because you brought it up, marketing.
Yeah.
You left a pretty amazing, like, dream career in the marketing world.
Yeah.
And you left that as to then take what you were moonlighting in, which was fitness, to make it your full time. Tell us, what was it that inspired you to take that leap from a really successful, almost like pinch me, is this really happening type career in marketing, and what brought you into fitness? Tell us a bit about how you did that and why.
It was definitely an interesting transition. So I used to be the international marketing manager for Hilton Hotels. I reported into Beverly Hills. I get picked up in the fancy town car and like traveled a lot, wined and dined. It was great and a great experience. But I never felt like complete. I always felt like there was something missing. So during that time too, I was going through my own health struggles. So I also was, overweight. I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I was drinking, I was smoking nonstop, like just that travel lifestyle, right? Not sleeping, my anxiety was through the roof, and I just was like breaking down. So that's where I really got into fitness and nutrition for my own change. So then seeing the power that it had for me, then I started training other people. So as soon as I started, got certified with CanFit and training other people, next thing I knew, it was like that calling, I could feel it, it just, every time I go to work, to my grown-up job, as I would call it, I felt drained. Every time I would leave, even though I was busting my butt, leaving work, going teaching back-to-back classes, then doing marketing and postering afterwards, but I felt alive. I felt so excited. So for me, it was kind of like a natural transition in terms of what I wanted, but then it did take time to build up, and that's why a lot of people, they want to do that transition out of a career into, their full-time fitness, but you got to give it time to build up your clientele, to build up your brand, to build up your marketing. So when we got to the place where financially I could, then I transitioned out.
So again, before this live, we were chatting and you were saying that, and I love how you came up with a succinct statement to say, what you do in building your business as you have, it's it's not been hard because you're living in your purpose, but
Yeah.
it's required something, which you said was effort.
Yes.
And we talked about the difference between something being with effort and consistency versus something just grind, because so many of us spend our life grinding it, trying to get to
Yeah.
where we want to go. Are we really in alignment? And so tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are around the difference between it being hard and the effort.
Yeah, I think that this is kind of one of those big topics that I think we should talk about more, because I think a lot of people are really meant to thrive in the fitness industry, but they quit right before like the good stuff starts to happen, right? Because it does feel difficult. And there's so many facets too to becoming, you know, a fitness professional. It's not just teaching the classes or training the client. Like, you are running a business, whether you're just by yourself or you have other instructors or you work at like Good Life or a gym or something, you're still a business, and there's other pieces to that. So I just really think the idea is understanding that, you know what, it's not going to be easy. And that doesn't mean that's a negative thing. Like, people think hard, they're like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. But it's understanding that it takes that consistency, it takes that effort, and then when it does get hard, to get the mindset of like, this is happening for a reason and I will get to the other side. And that's where it's so important to have mentors and people to talk to and coaches that you can get that feedback from and understand that, you know what, this is just a temporary, you know, it's part of the growing pains. It's
yes, like, good analogy.
We always talked about Fit Chicks like it's like our child. So Fit Chicks turned 11 this year.
Oh, wow.
She's turning into a preteen.
Yeah.
But, you know, when she was born, she required different things that she does now. So when she was younger, she required a lot more attention, a lot more constant, you know, like marketing nonstop, and growing and nurturing. And now there's things we've been around long enough. But you've got to put in that work, and you can't give up when it gets hard, guys. That's like my number one. We just did a podcast too about my 5 lessons I've learned over the last 11 years of running a business.
Yeah.
And like I think it was number 2 for me was you cannot give up. You cannot give up.
No. I love the book, The Tipping Point. That'll also, it's a great resource. And that, as you said, people get to that tipping point. I call it the edge. I'm a bit of a daredevil, and I always think you get to the edge and you either are going to go for it, or you, for sake of, you know, fear or limitation or whatever, you step back and you never get to experience the thrill of getting to the edge and what it'll take you to.
Or a lot of people, they get to that place and it feels so, like that's the part where you're so uncomfortable, right? Because you're scared you're going to fall. But instead you have that possibility to fly. So it's like you have to jump. Yeah. There's no other option. You have to jump.
Yeah. I just don't recommend you jump off a bridge or anything like that, although I have done that. Queenstown bungee jumping. It was a good.
I knew you were a wild woman.
And it's been a good lesson in life. It's really helped me realize that it's not that scary when you take the step.
Yeah.
Or when you jump, because you're either going to be, you know, bound by a bungee cord, or you're going to have someone there to catch you or take you the next step. There's lots of good things around there. I should probably ask you a question that I actually prepped you for, because we've been just talking and it's been so great. And I have to say that I love the name of your company. I love your color. And the yellow, it's so incredibly energetic.
Do you know why we picked it? We picked yellow because it represents friendship and it represents energy. Oh. That was the reason why.
I can feel it. It's like, whoo, it's hot in here.
And it's huge about, we're all about women empowerment, women friendship. And
well, that leads to a great question. I'm just going to pull off the page here.
Yeah.
So you have your company, Fit Chick, and you explained a little bit about your company, but I'm just going to go back here and say, so I can give your co-founder a shout out.
Yeah.
So why did you and your co-founder at the time, your roommate, Amanda Quinn, decide to create Fit Chicks? And we chatted too about what's going on with women in the industry right now. So why did you decide to create it, and what makes your program different?
Yeah, so like I said, I was going through my own health struggles during that time, and she was going through a similar thing. So when we both got certified together, we did our canfitpro certification together with Curtis, who was awesome.
Yes.
Who was awesome. Shout out to Curtis. And that was, I don't even know, 12 years ago. But we did our certification together, and again, we were kind of going through this journey of our own health changes, and then we got certified, and then we started working out together, and then we started building workouts together. So as we were getting clients, we're like, you know what, we should really do this as a team. And also that was right when group fitness boot camp started, and we were like, you know what, we had this whole idea of how we wanted to build a different space for women than there was out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted something that was super inclusive. We would never market to women's insecurities. So, none of those crop tops with six packs. We celebrate body diversity, health diversity, ability diversity. Because I think for fitness, a lot of people still have this idea that you have to be either super fit, or you have to do weights, or you have to do CrossFit, or you have to. When in all reality, someone's fitness could be power walking, or it could be, Kangoo, or Zumba, or boot camp. So one of the things we wanted in our boot camps was different levels. So level 1, 2, 3, whether you're first starting or you are accelerated, you can help each other and grow together and work out together.
Which brings the community,
And
the accountability, that empathy. And people, they say, people quit gyms every day or quit their memberships, but they don't quit their friends.
No, and I also think one thing that really made our program different, and again, it kind of spawned from hers and my friendship, because we started the workouts together. We were supporting each other, and we're like, women need the support, but they also need challenging workouts.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, too, there wasn't that. We do a lot of high-intensity interval training, but for all levels. So
back then, that was something that women don't sweat. They need to tone, not lift.
Totally, and we fell in love with that type of training. We're like, more women need this, but in a way that's not intimidating. Because still to this day, like, I'll be on the weight, like the weight floor, and I'm still maybe 1-2 girls, and it's all men. And that comes a lot, I think, from just the intimidation factor and the belief that it's scary. So when you create a safe space, then that's where people, I think, can really thrive. So we took that community of our friendship and brought that into our classes. And we also focus a lot, too, on the mindset piece, which I think is something that really misses from a lot of programs, and we're seeing it come in more. But even back then, for starting, a lot of what's going on with you internally as you go through your fitness journey. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't just come for the workout. We would send a lot of emails and have a lot of workshops and conversations around shifting your mindset.
Wow. And that's the place I really feel it makes the difference between how you connect and build relationships with clients or even members of your class, right?
Yeah.
It's that what happens the other 23 hours of the day.
Yeah.
And how you connect with them.
Completely.
We could talk for hours, and I just want to be mindful of, your lunch half hour with us, your time with us today. So let me think, what could I ask you next? We talked about the award right off the top, and then we said about the importance of applying and why. So what would be your best piece of advice to those that are considering nominating themselves or having someone nominate them? Because it's September and applications will be coming out in the beginning of the year. The deadline will be in the spring, a little sooner than it was this year. What would you advise somebody now here in September if they're thinking of either self-nominating or being nominated? What should they be doing?
Well, I think the first thing they should do is really read through the entire application, because I think some people might find it a little bit daunting, or they might not recognize some of the things they're already doing fit those categories, right? So I know some people are like, I'm not big enough yet, or I'm just starting out, or I haven't made a big enough impact, even though you're making more impact than you know.
Yeah.
That's my 100%. Please, everyone believe that. But I think if you read through it, number one, you'll see what you're already doing. And also if there's things on there that you haven't done yet, you have time to do them. So maybe it's the charitable aspect. So you're like, okay, you know what? I haven't done really much charity work this year. I'm going to get involved in that, Run for the Cure, or, raising funds for, or teaching charity classes, or whatever it is. So that will give you an opportunity to actually create those things and have time to do those things. You got
time to do it.
Yeah, and also just, to be able to collect some of the other stuff too, the references. And
collect the references. When you get a testimonial and it's one of those that just makes you cry, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Put it into your dream box. Put it into your, make it a goal and have your kit. You're going to put all those testimonials.
Yeah.
And here's another, if I could add another piece of advice. Because when it comes down to choosing the finalists and then the winner, it comes down to that final video application. So when you're out there doing the charity event, when you're out there training your favorite client, you know you're going to have one of those epic moments of coaching or on the gym floor, seek permission to capture some of that on video.
That's something that is huge, because even though I have a ton of footage, a lot of times too, I'd be taking the footage of just my clients and not of me. And then when it came down to the video, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pulling stuff. And luckily I had things, but just also if you're training, ask someone else to take a quick video of you doing it. Of course, with your client's permission.
Yeah.
But it's also great for you for your own marketing along the way. So you're kind of hitting two birds with one stone.
Exactly. Because this piece that you create is your marketing.
Yeah.
And whether it gets you to a finalist position, it gets you to a winning position, you will have won, because now you've got a tool to help yourself move forward. Because if you weren't aiming for this type of, again, like you said in the beginning, if you weren't putting yourself forward to help move yourself, the industry, and the credibility of fitness professionals forward, you wouldn't be even focusing on this. And so however it ends up, you still win, because you've now got a piece to take you in that direction.
And I also think it's really important to just believe that you are enough. I think a lot of people think, I'm just a personal trainer. And maybe this was my struggle, and maybe I'm talking from my own personal experience. But when I first started out, I remember even my father would say to me, oh, well, my daughter, she's just a fitness instructor. And that never resonated with me, because I'm like, no, that's one part of what I am, but I'm doing so much more. And I just think, understand that you deserve this award. Like, there's so many of you out there who deserve it, probably more than even than I deserve it. And I'm so blessed to be not to be named it this year. But there's so many people out there doing incredible things, but they're not strong enough, or not, I shouldn't say strong enough, but that self-doubt kicks in, that you're not sharing it, and sing your praises. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you have to. You're the only one that holds yourself back.
Yeah.
And seek the help you need to build that, and sometimes you just need to do that internal work.
Yeah.
I want to share just a quote out of this great article. You said here, now that you've reached this point in your career, Laura, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? And you said, along what you just said here, I would tell my younger self not to ever underestimate the power that you have to transform other people's lives, physically, mentally, emotionally, and the impact that you would make in this world. Your purpose is here to help others, in your case, women, to be their best and healthiest selves. So start building the programs and the classes in your heart can do that. And don't let the self-doubt stand in your way. There are so many people out there who want to succeed and have an amazing community of health pros who will connect with you. So start reaching out to them and let them help you grow into the person you are meant to become. And that was something you said earlier, is that you've been a very independent woman.
Yes.
And it took you a while to give yourself permission to ask for help. And
help has never been something I've been good at asking for.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll figure it out. And then at the end of the day, there are so many people out there like you, so in this industry, who want to help you and want to see you succeed. You just have to reach out. Yeah. So don't be scared of that.
Yeah.
Again, it will save you so much time and energy.
Time and energy that you can put into pursuing what it is that you're meant here in this one precious life to serve the world by you being in it. I think that's probably a great place to sign off. I encourage everyone, please, when you receive this, read it. It's great stuff, but read this article, especially if you have really, goals to achieve this year, and put yourself forward. I'm going to leave off by saying, you would be surprised if I told you how many people apply for this award. And there are, like you said, so many amazing fitness professionals out there. And if you're listening, you're one of them. Mm-hmm. So please, I hope you enjoy the advice and the insights that you've received today. Laura, it's been absolutely a privilege. Thank you so much.
My privilege. Thank you guys for having me.
Yay! And thanks for joining us. And if you're viewing this later, please put in the comments, again, questions you have. Make sure you hashtag canfitpro so we can actually tag it, and we can always answer your questions. Mm-hmm. Give us a heart, thumbs up. We'd love to hear your comments and feedback around how these Facebook Lives, influence you. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you so much.